That's right, it's the penultimate day of the Boys and Girls Athletics Championships at the National Stadium. And guess what? The boys and girls are doing extremely well. Jamaica's track and field future is in good hands. The country's economy is also in good hands, and today we see how government's handling of the IMF agreement is supporting economic reform. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Let's turn the pages of Jamaica Magazine together.
Is your silence worth the life of a child? Report child abuse. Call the Office of the Children's Registry at 1-888-PROTECT. Be the change. Speak out. Protect our children.
Good day, I'm Samantha Allen and this is your GIS News for Friday, March 28. The Bustamante Hospital for Children has received a $123 million grant from the government of Japan to purchase vital equipment that will significantly boost healthcare delivery at the institution. Agreements formalizing the donation were signed Wednesday at the hospital. The funds are provided under Japan's grant assistance for grassroots and human security projects. It will be used to acquire 23 pieces of critical equipment, including a ventilator, 8 vital sign patient monitors, an internal mobile dental unit, and 6 internal mobile blood pressure units.
Diseases and injuries know no boundaries. As a responsible member of the global community, our commitment to Jamaican health needs continue to be a core priority for the government of Japan.
The Japanese government made another important donation Wednesday, $11 million to build a computer room, repair a multipurpose court, and fence the Wait-A-Bit All-Age School in Trelawney. The improvement works is to get underway shortly and should be completed before the end of the year. The Wait-A-Bit Benevolent Society will contribute 37 computers and 4 printers. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites thanked the Japanese government and commended school administrators for the foresight to seek the assistance.
It's the largest ministry, the largest budget in Jamaica, but we have over 1,000 schools and many other commitments. And these important additions to the infrastructure of the school would likely have had to wait for quite a while. And therefore, this is exactly the kind of partnership that we cherish.
Meanwhile, the Crooked River Skills Training Center in Northern Clarendon will benefit from a $10 million rehabilitation project courtesy of another grant from the Japanese government. Representatives of the Heart Trust NTA and the Charge d'Affaires at the Japanese Embassy signed that agreement Thursday.
Not only will the center offer specific training, but also it offers the opportunity of continuing education. Yes? Because the facilities there, I hope, MP, will be available for the eventually, soon, for the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning and the community organization to partner so that we can offer the high school diploma there for anybody who didn't get it.
Training at the renovated center will include apiculture, barbering, cosmetology, food and beverage, and cake baking. When it's completed, the Heart Trust NTA will assume responsibility to provide skills training curricula. The Maritime Authority of Jamaica, MAJ, is reminding jet ski owners to register their watercraft by the March 31 deadline. So far, the authority has registered approximately 100 jet skis under an island-wide inspection and registration drive, which seeks to account for and regulate the operations of these watercraft.
The first prerequisite for any vessel to operate in any sector at all in Jamaica is to have from the Maritime Authority of Jamaica a safety certificate. So jet skis too are coming into that net.
Rear Admiral Brady was speaking at a JIS think tank on March 26. He explained that registration of the jet skis will help the authority enforce limitations on the number of watercraft that can operate in a specific area.
As we speak now, we have a task force that is looking at putting together final recommendations for the operation to be phased back in a sort of gradual way, because it is an attraction that many people come to Jamaica for, and we'd like to maintain it.
In February, government announced several regulations for the operation of personal watercraft, including jet skis, to ensure the safety of operators and swimmers. And finally, another successful agritourism farmers market was staged at the Catherine Hall Stadium in Montego Bay on Wednesday. The event was the latest in a series of farmers markets being held since last year, with $10 million in funding from the Tourism Enhancement Fund. It's part of a strategic collaboration between the Ministries of Agriculture and Tourism aimed at strengthening the linkages between the tourism industry and other sectors. Approximately 35 farmers and craft artisans took part in the latest farmers market, and there are plans to repeat the event on the last Wednesday of each month in Montego Bay. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.
A message from the Bureau of Gender Affairs and the Dispute Resolution Foundation, paid for by the UN Women Fund for Gender Equality.
As promised, today we're continuing our series on government's economic reform program. If you're a Jamaica Magazine regular, you should know what that program is about and the role tax reform plays. Today, Andrea Chisholm zeroes in on the agreement with the International Monetary Fund.
An agreement with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has been at the center of the economic reform program for Jamaica. After intense negotiations in May 2013, the government secured an agreement with the fund, positioning the country to receive about $958 million over a 4-year period under the extended fund facility. But why was this IMF agreement so important?
What it does is ensure that we have sufficient reserves to meet any unusual spikes, for example, in demand or overseas commitments in terms of balance of payment support.
That is, money for Jamaica to conduct transactions with our foreign counterparts, for example, to import oil. But before that critical IMF deal could have been cemented, 4 main things had to be finalized. With those things started or completed and the IMF agreement secured, there are still some targets Jamaica needs to meet every quarter to keep the arrangement in place. Every 3 months, the country must successfully complete some specific quantitative or monetary targets, as well as structural benchmarks like legislative or policy changes. Every ministry, department, and agency of government has been doing the work to ensure Jamaica passes the tests. So far, so good. Jamaica passed all 3 IMF tests in June, September, and December 2013.
The execution of the government budget for 2013-14 has been broadly on track. Overall, policy implementation under the program remains strong.
The Executive Board of the IMF therefore announced on March 19, 2014 that $71.4 million would be disbursed to Jamaica, bringing total disbursements under the arrangement to $345.8 million.
Therefore, the more you meet the IMF performance criteria is the more you build confidence.
Yes.
So the money that we get from the IMF, that is not as important as the confidence which the IMF seal of approval provides to investors and suppliers.
Government is staying the course under its economic reform program to ensure that Jamaica meets the requirements to pass the 4th IMF test, a review of our performance from January to March 2014. On March 18, the House of Representatives passed the fiscal rules legislation, meeting one structural benchmark for the quarter. This will allow Parliament to be more responsible in the management of the country's financial affairs while promoting transparency.
Because the international community, the financial markets, the multilateral agencies, the private and official lenders are not convinced that we collectively have the fiscal discipline to prevent the future run-up of our debt. We need to prove them wrong.
2 acts were amended to make the legislation possible: the Fiscal Administration Audit Act and the Public Bodies Management Accountability Act. As part of the quantitative targets, the Net International Reserves NIR is also on track to meet its over $1.2 billion target. The Bank of Jamaica reported that at the end of February, the NIR stood at over $1 billion, representing almost 17 weeks of imports.
An agreement with the IMF also paves the way for monies to flow from the other multilateral agencies such as the World Bank.
And this has been happening, signaling confidence in Jamaica's economic reform program. 2 loan agreements valuing $140 million were signed in February with the Inter-American Development Bank. And prior to that, Jamaica received a $951 million grant from the European Union for budgetary support and $2.6 billion in grant funding to improve services in the health sector.
We are very cognizant that we need to continue our performance in all aspects of the program, and particularly in relation to the strengthening of our financial management capabilities within the government of Jamaica as a whole in order to facilitate these funds.
And to help keep the government on track, the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, which includes private sector interests, is keenly monitoring the IMF agreement. EPOC is co-chaired by President and CEO of Sagicor Life, Richard Biles, and Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter.
I see the government doing what we said they must do. I think it is up to us now in the private sector, myself included, to do what we think is good business, which is to invest and to look out for opportunities.
So through the economic reform program, government is meeting the targets outlined in the agreement with the IMF under the watchful eyes of EPOC, all in a bid to ensure that Jamaica continues on a path of economic stability and growth.
Let's go. Overtime, it's a job. Overtime, it's a job. Boys and girls jump. Overtime, it's a job. Celebrate, it's a job. Celebrate, it's a job. Boys and girls jump. Overtime, it's a job. Oh, I win, we are win. Oh, I win, we are win. Boys and girls jump. Overtime, it's a job. Celebrate, it's a job. Celebrate, it's a job. Boys and girls jump. Overtime, it's a job. Overtime, it's a job. Overtime, it's a job. Boys and girls jump. Overtime, it's a job. Celebrate, it's a job. Celebrate, it's a job. Boys and girls jump. Overtime, it's a job. Oh, I win, we are win. Oh, I win, we are win. Boys and girls jump. Overtime, it's a job. Celebrate, it's a job. Celebrate, it's a job. Boys and girls jump. Overtime, it's a job.
A developed country is not just about a growing economy. Certain social standards should also be achieved if any nation is to achieve first-class development. That's why uniformed groups like the Girl Guides, Brownies, Pathfinders, Boy Scouts and Cadets are so important. They help to reinforce core values like honesty, respect and tolerance among the nation's youth. Let's journey to DuPont Primary to take a look at activities through the Jamaica Red Cross.
Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
I feel very happy because to be in this club, it's great because we help all the vulnerable. When we go to places like the burn ward, at Children's Home and Mustard Seed, and giving the children gifts, we feel excited because we know that we're giving and we know that we're going to be leaders of tomorrow.
A whopping 135 students, including 45 boys, have signed up to be a part of the Red Cross group at the DuPont Primary School. Welcome to another week of School Zone. I'm Tamara McHale. Today we find out how this inner city school is using this medium to engage the students while teaching them the value of giving back. Do stay with me.
What a team, Red Cross and the team, united all the people them, we serve one another. No hate warrior, no in this a team, for in life, disaster and the team. So come help the sick and the suffering, and lend a hand to the needy. When war starts, Red Cross is neutral, for love and peace sake, no confusion. We know all of here to his service, and we united and impartial. Henry Dunan started, we don't have Switzerland. Now the whole world are run with it. Red Cross to the world.
Dressed in white with some already in their red hats and emblems was the newest set of students to join the Red Cross Corps at DuPont Primary. So large was the group that it's said to have made the history books within Red Cross in Jamaica.
I don't recall a school having this number of persons enrolled in recent times. You are serving one another. So as you do that and you keep doing it, you will raise yourselves to greater heights.
So what does Red Cross uphold?
It promotes mutual understanding, friendship, cooperation, and lasting peace amongst all people. It endeavors only to relieve suffering, giving priority to the most urgent cases of distress.
We don't discriminate, we just help. You can do lots of things like go to the hospital, help the poor, and everything to give them soap, food, things like that.
We have a relationship with a school in Canada. Oftentimes, our school, through our principal, they send us gifts. They will send us like wheelchair and those things. Now, our principal look on which club is doing well, and he will say, okay, Red Cross is doing well, so I'll give you this gift, and you distribute to whoever you want. Now, we have the homes, and we have the hospital, and we have these places where we want to give. So we go, and we give it to them.
Having such a large number of students enrolled in the club is in line with Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaite's appeal for more students to become members of uniformed groups, a point supported by the school's chairman.
This is certainly a good move. We want to get our children involved in something a little bit more than themselves, organizations and activities where they are linked to giving service to humanity, and this is an example of that.
A fine example of how to keep students active, engaged and disciplined. DuPont Primary is reaping the benefits.
When they look on DuPont, molding the children are becoming, in giving, they become so conscious that I have potential. Oh, I'm wonderful. Oh, I can do things. I may be in a inner city, but the inner city is not in me. I am bigger than that.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is much brighter than tomorrow. our sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place.
My child being a part of this program right now, I'm feeling totally elated because the Red Cross is a very good program to get your children involved in, because I myself was a member while I was going to high school.
I feel real good. It can help to change them and let them be a better person.
It's a good program because you get to help other children, help other parents. You can get to help other children by a donation, small as contribute, give to us so you can help other people. You know?
DuPont Primary Red Cross, linking together a community through the chain of service and friendship.
We are the Red Cross and the DuPont Private School. United we stand, divided we fall. We have a vision to be great leaders of tomorrow as we serve one another. As we serve one another. As we serve one another.
Indeed, it's quite uplifting to see all these students giving back through the medium of Red Cross. Hopefully you too can get involved in a service group in your school or community. Till next time, I'm Tamara McHale for School Zones.
Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race.
It seems like most persons are super busy these days. The children need assistance with their homework. That deadline to complete a major project at work is fast approaching, and your favorite television show needs undivided attention. But amidst the hustle and bustle, we can still find a time to be of service to others. Excellent programs like the one at DuPont Primary really couldn't succeed without people volunteering their time and efforts, and that's worthy of emulation. Why not volunteer your services through the mentorship program at a school near you? And there must be some activity to get involved in at church or even a charitable organization. When we donate time and energy to uplifting projects, we are fulfilling a social responsibility. Volunteerism strengthens trust among citizens, and it can help us develop new skills and talents. Make some space in your busy schedule to give back. Through volunteerism, we can help to execute projects that can help create a more caring and gentle society.
The 2014-2015 fiscal year is almost here. Catch the ceremonial opening of Parliament on April 3 as Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen outlines government's plans for the new legislative year. The estimates of expenditure will also be tabled on April 3. Come April 8 to 10, the Standing Finance Committee of Parliament will consider the estimates. Tune in as the Finance Minister opens the budget debate on April 17. Dr. Peter Phillips will be followed by the Opposition Spokesman on Finance on April 22 and Government and Opposition members on April 23. The Opposition Leader will make his contribution on April 24 and the Prime Minister makes her presentation on April 29. The budget debate will close on April 30 with the Finance Minister. It's the 2014-2015 budget debate. Stay informed and keep watching Jamaica Magazine.
Every day I rise on a prayer.
With our prison, unfortunate, but prison are not hell, and the last part of the world. So we're glad for the opportunity where we can come on and do something and go back out there.
And that's exactly what some inmates at two of the island's adult correctional facilities are doing, making the most of their time, learning a skill and excelling at it. Today on the arts page, we take a look at some of the artisans in the island's penal institutions.
Gonna be free like a bird in the sky. Gonna be free, gonna fly so high. I was
Instead of giving them a fish,
you teach them to fish so that they can go back out in the wider society as better persons.
The Department of Correctional Services offers several self-improvement programs intended to change behaviors and teach skills. Art and craft is one of the many self-empowering methods being used by the department to reform the lives of those on lockdown.
On a daily basis, they work Monday through Friday. On weekends, they might do things in their cells, but weekdays, they work in the different areas.
These are self-taught crafts. We have matchstick work, and we have soap work, we have paintings.
The men on the inside have attested to the life-changing power of art and craft.
It helped me to calm myself, to see things differently, to be a better person.
I'm glad for the opportunity where we can come to prison, we can do something, because when I out there, I never know if I do nothing at all.
It helped me a lot to keep my brain more relaxable, keep me away from trouble and things. It was useful enough for, since I come here, I get to learn about the matchstick work and carving work and them things there.
The rehab program has helped me tremendously in a positive way, meaning that when I'm free, I'll be able to help myself in a more productive way and be a more upstanding citizen in society.
I've got to get myself together.
It helps to relieve my mind from the pressures of the sentence, because not just in prison, but wherever a man is, as long as he occupies his mind with something productive, then there'll be less stress to deal with. And that's where my rehabilitation has been working.
It enhanced me, it let me feel confident in myself, because I came here without a skill, and presently I have a skill now, and I feel happy about myself.
It helps a lot of us, because if you sit down and build something like this, and even that over there is a fish and a stand, you get out of trouble and involved in bad activity.
Not only are the art and craft works donated and given as gifts to family members and visitors, they are also sold and the proceeds given to the inmates.
Persons on the outside who are not aware of what happens in the institution feels that it is a waste of time. But we have inmates who genuinely, when they enter the institution, behavior change takes place. There is hope for them. They are encouraged to go into various rehab programs in order to elevate themselves.
So the next time you see a work of art, it just might be from one of the many talented artisans in the island's correctional institutions.
I've shown my art at the Island Life Gallery, the Revolutionary Gallery, Devon House, and tremendous amount of expos at the National Arena and some other spaces in the Pegasus lobby.
And
we would appeal to the wider public that once we help our inmates who are in the institutions, it is helping them to be better persons. They will not be a liability. They will be an asset to the wider society.
Art washes from the soul the dust of everyday life. Art is therapeutic. It's invigorating, expressive, introspective, but most of all, it's a way of metamorphosing into a new being.
But I got to pick myself up, just myself up, start all over.
This has been the Arts Page.
And we've come to the end of Jamaica Magazine for this Friday. Thanks for spending time with us. Let's keep the relationship going. Send feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. Follow us on Twitter at JIS News and visit our website jis.gov.jm. I'm Adrian Atkinson. On behalf of the entire production team here at the JIS, have yourselves a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.